popular ever song of Plum Village. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as a dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free. Thank you. I heard the harmony. It makes the song so beautiful. Oh, can we sing it one more time? Oh, can we sing it in Vietnamese? Yeah, thank you, sister. Gratitude for uh, your suggestion. Shall we sing this song in Vietnamese? How does it start? Thở, thở vào, thở vào, thở là hoa tươi mát, là núi vững vàng, nước tịnh lặng chiếu không gian thênh thang. Quay về nương tựa từ thân chánh niệm là bột soi sáng xa gần. Hơi thở là pháp bảo hộ thân tâm. Năm uẩn là tăng phối hợp tinh cần. Thở vào, thở ra là hoa tươi mát, là núi vững vàng, nước tịnh lặng chiếu không gian thênh thang. Is it what you recommended? Hả? Thác tiếng rồi, hai thứ. Okay. I think, yeah, it's time now. It's time. It's almost 10, 10. Oh, 9:10. Okay. Good morning, dear respected Thai, dear beloved community, dear friends, near and far. I am far-sighted, not like Sister Bo Nghiem who is near-sighted, so I can see you, but not really very clearly. Um, so we are into the 4th day of the online retreat, and we are still together. We are online together. Um, uh, um, so I'd like to say the mantra that in our tradition we always uh, be reminded to recite or to bring to awareness. Sister Chu Sứ, I remember you mentioned this once, right? What is the mantra that you mentioned? Yeah, this is a happy moment. Our teacher Thai would remind us to uh, say this mantra. So this is a happy moment. And I'd like to sing this mantra so that, because mantra is like a medicine to the soul when we allow the meaning of the mantra to go deeper into our consciousness. Um, and especially when we really put it into heart, we apply, we put the meaning of the mantra into our practice, it becomes uh, um, alive in us. And so we help like cultivate the positive energy, so that we can maintain our peace and happiness. So the mantra goes like this in the song. This is a happy moment, what a happy moment. This is a happy moment, what a happy moment. We are alive together, what more do we need? So can you sing with me this mantra? Mantra is the repeatedly recited or sing, right? This is a happy moment, what a happy moment. Yeah. So now, as we listen to 3 sounds of the bell, let us put this mantra into our practice, coming back to our breathing. And we also apply the practice called appropriate attention. So throughout the retreat, when we generate the mindfulness energy, and the sound of the bell, as mentioned in the early, at the beginning of the retreat. So when we listen to the sound of the bell, we cultivate positive energy, like love, like peace, like joy, happiness. So this is a happy moment. We are alive together. We are online together. We enjoy 3 sounds of the bell. Dear beloved community, today we are having a presentation on beginning a new practice. May I see a show of hands of those who have practiced this, who have experience, who know the beginning new practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here there are like about 20 or so residents, but there are about 10 who raise their hands. Okay. And may I know how many of us who are new to this practice, beginning anew? What does it mean, beginning anew? What is it for? Yeah? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to ask those of you who have experienced this practice and applied it often into your daily life and found it so beneficial and like help increase happiness in your relationships. Could you show one? Nobody showed any yet. Everybody. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your practice. And my next question is that how many of us here, everybody, I ask everybody on site and online, how many of us here who sometimes find that the beginning new practice difficult and we we cannot, sometimes we find it not easy to practice. Please count me. Oh, yeah, I see a lot of hands. Yeah, this is a very important and crucial practice to help us um, um, develop the art of communication. Um, yeah, but like for me personally, I have to confess that I am not very skillful. I'm not very artful in this practice. So I'm so humble when I present this practice to everybody. But yeah, it's like that's why we keep practicing and practicing. When you come to the retreat offered by Plum Village, we always share the practice on mindfulness, listening to the bell, and we offer presentation on the 5 mindfulness trainings and the beginning a new practice. To the extent that maybe many of us may say, oh, biết rồi, khổ lắm, nói mãi. Oh, come on. I've heard it so many times. You keep saying it again and again and again. Yeah. But because sometimes we haven't done it very well. Maybe because we get used to it, we take the practice for granted. And to the point that we have lost interest in the practice. And we don't take it too hard seriously, the significance, the benefits that the practice brings about. So with that, I would like to review, and I ask everybody to review together the practice. I know that last night in California time, Sister Chang Chua Sua, Sister Ancient Temple, also gave a very beautiful, nourishing presentation on this practice. And today we are sharing it again with those who are in Americas and in Europe. So, beginning anew. Simply put, it means to refresh, to renew. When there is a blockage in our communication, in our relationship, and one of us feel resentful toward the other person. One of us may not like to look at the other person. One of us may not want to talk, to interact with the other person. Yeah. So we know that it's time to come back to ourselves, to practice begin anew. And when we practice, we know one important step is that every practice should begins with ourselves first. Everything should start with oneself first. So when we see that there's a tension, there's a blockage in our communication, then the practice is that each one of us, we come back to ourselves to reflect what is going on. What is going on inside me? What have I done? What have I said? What kind of, what way, what is my habitual way of thinking that has caused this tension, this blockage, this conflict in my relationship? And we come back to ourselves to reflect on the relationship within ourselves. Mm-hmm. The way we speak, the way we think about things, about other people, the way we do things, especially the way we react when we feel irritated, when things do not go the way we want. Mm-hmm. So when we come back to ourselves in order to renew the wholesome mental formations, we in Sister Dee's Dhamma talk yesterday, she mentioned about the 4 right diligences. Do you remember? Mm-hmm. First is to water the good seeds, water the flowers, water the good qualities, and not to water the bad seeds. No, actually not to water the negative seeds, not to water the unbeneficial, the unskillful seeds in us. And if a good seed, if a beneficial seed, a wholesome seed, has manifested into a positive mental formation, like love, like peace, like acceptance, and so on, it is our practice to try to maintain and strengthen those energies of joy, of happiness, of peace, of acceptance, of embrace. Mm-hmm. And the fourth right diligence is if the unwholesome seed has already manifested into an unwholesome mental formation, like the seed of anger, the seed of jealousy has manifested itself into the energy of anger, energy of jealousy. Then we come back to mindful breathing, mindful walking, to reflect in order to help calm down those unwholesome mental information so that it can lie down in our stored consciousness in the form of a seed. Yeah, that is the practice of the 4 right diligence. And if you recall the day you joined the presentation on the 5 mindfulness trainings, when we share about the 4th training on loving speech and deep listening. So this practice on beginning anew applied concretely the practice of using loving speech and deep listening. And also apply concretely the 4 right diligencies. Yeah. So how we practice beginning anew? Like what Sister Ancient Temple shared yesterday, there are the 4 basic steps. For me, according to my experience, I would say the 4 basic parts of the beginning anew, because I don't want friends uh, to mistake it as like we follow step by step. She also mentioned clearly yesterday that this is not, we don't have to necessarily go by order from step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, but depending on the circumstance that we can focus on some specific step that we want to practice. So I call it the 4 basic, the 4 important parts of the beginning of new practice. And so the first part is called flower watering. Flower watering. That is to apply cultivating, watering the good seeds, watering the good qualities. So when we come back to ourselves, we recognize what good qualities, what good seeds that we see in ourselves, that we feel appreciative, we feel grateful. Because this morning, I believe that many of us joined Sister Bội Nghiem to write a love letter to oneself. And that is also a practice of watering the good seeds, right? So I would like to ask, if it's possible, you could write in the chat box. Because this morning you write to yourself, and now I would like to, if possible, you share in the chat box about 1 or 2 good qualities that you feel grateful for yourself. The good qualities that help you deepen your practice. Later on, we will check. Mm-hmm. And for those of us here, we can also reflect to ourselves. Some of us, we are not used to appreciating ourselves. So, flower watering is like saying thank you. And I'd like to sing another mantra of the 6 mantra song. There are 6 mantras that Thầy has taught us. When we come back to ourselves, to our body, and we appreciate our body, like when we practice deep relaxation, right? We scan our body, we send love and appreciation to each part of our body. We say thank you. And so the mantra is sung like this. I know that you are there, and I am so happy. I know that you are there, and I am so happy. Your presence is so precious to me. I know that you are there, and I am so happy. So I hope that you also remember to practice this often, to recognize how precious it is to have this body. Yeah. and recognize the good seeds in us that help us feel so happy, so confident to live a happy, peaceful life. If we know how to love ourselves, appreciating ourselves, it would be easier for us to love other people. So the practice beginning anew is, first we come back to ourselves in order to cultivate wholesome mental formations so that love can grow, so that we can arrive at more understanding of the suffering we have inside us and also the suffering in the other person. So we can have some calm, some peace, some solidity before we can practice outwardly to the other person. So the practice of self beginning anew is very important. And another part of beginning new practice is expressing regrets. We say thank you to ourselves. We appreciate, we say thank you to the other person. And we say sorry. We know how to recognize the mistakes, the shortcomings, or the unskillfulness that we may have done, that we may have said, that we may have thought that cause the tension or the conflict in our relationship. Imagine like in a relationship and there's some irritation. And if one person said that it's not my fault, that's her. I don't have anything to apologize, something like that. And it would just help escalate the conflict in the relationship. So it's also an art in our practice to know how to recognize the unskillfulness in our actions of speech, thought, and deeds. And next is to expressing hurts. Expressing hurts. Sister Chang Ju Su, Ancient Temple, also shared that this is the very challenging part, very difficult part to share out about our hurts, about our difficulties, because maybe something inside us, like pride, like complex, that prevent us from opening up to express our hurt. And if we have to say it, we don't know how to master our strong emotions. Like when there's some unwholesome mental information that arise and we hold on to such unwholesome mental formation like frustration, like bitterness, like anger, resentment for so long, and they become knots. Yeah, that ties so tightly in our consciousness, and to the point that they may become entangled in our mind. It's so difficult to release those knots. We say to untie those knots. So we bring to our awareness about this practice so that we can open our mind to get down to the practice, like to make a commitment. Mhm. We make a commitment to renew ourselves, to cultivate the wholesome mental formations and share about our hurts. And so I'd like to mention another mantra in the sixth mantra song. This is to let the other person know that I suffer and we ask for help. I need to look at the lyrics. Okay, it goes like this. Please help, I suffer. I suffer, please help. Please help, I suffer. I suffer, please help. We express this sincerely and humbly so that the other person can also open their heart to receive and to understand that, yeah, we suffer. Please help, I suffer. I suffer, please help. Please help, I suffer. I suffer, please help. Please help me, my dear, to hold this pain. I need you to know I suffer, please help. Yeah. So I would like to ask everybody to take a few moments to come back to ourselves, to reflect into ourselves and meditate with me. This part, recognizing hurts. I want to look deeply and honestly at my vulnerabilities, at my weaknesses, at my sensitivity. So please close your eyes and come back to your breathing and reflect and ask yourself, am I still holding on to any hurt feelings? Am I still holding on to any frustration, any pent up irritation or resentment? Any anger? What are my patterns and negative habits in my way of thinking, speaking, and acting that I recognize are damaging to myself, to others, damaging to the relationship within myself or between me and other people. Thank you for your practice. Let us listen to one sound of the bell. So, dear friends, next I'd like to invite everybody to explore with me um, the what are the reasons that contribute to the fail in beginning a new practice. In other words, what makes communication difficult? So let us please collaborate with me. Maybe you have the same experience, or maybe you have different experience with me. Okay. So I'd like to say it again. The practice always begins with oneself. So I said that we come back to ourselves and we are open, we are willing, we are ready to reconcile to the other person. But we still cannot make it. It's not successful. Why? Because the other person is not ready. I am ready, but the other person is not ready. I am open, I'm willing, but the other person is not open. So it cannot be successful. Okay, one reason. Can you give sorry? Your own ego, yes, your own ego, your own pride. You cannot humble yourself to come to the other person. So expressing regret, saying, I am sorry, it's not just when we recognize our own mistakes, our shortcomings in causing the conflict, the tension in the relationship, but we say sorry, we yield, right? We yield and we practice to the other person because we treasure the relationship. We know how precious it is, our relationship. So if the relationship is true and beautiful, we try our best to renew, to reconnect, to reconcile, to refresh. We don't want to shut down. We don't want a breakup. That is the practice of beginning anew. Mm-hmm. So please continue to make the list. Yes? Yeah, when we have not practiced, how to, yeah, yeah, uh-huh, yeah. So how to skillfully express our emotion. Yes, somebody raised their hand. Yeah, can you unmute yourself and share?
Yes, Cantonese, bowing in. I was thinking that change comes within. So if I'm not in connection with my within, how can I dive into a new practice? That's what I was thinking. Change comes from within me
Mm-hmm.
out.
Right.
And I can't be one with myself. And I'm my own worst enemy. I'm sort of sabotaging my practice before I even start it. Some people are not grounded and they don't know how to ground themselves, so they are grasping for answers, or, oh, well, she does it this way, I'll try that, or I'll get in the book, I'll try this, or that's not working for me, so I'll give up. Those are the things that came to my mind.
Yeah, I also have this thought. sometimes we are caught in our thinking. We think that, oh, why bother beginning anew? That person will not change. So we don't want to give the opportunity for the practice of beginning anew to take place. But then, yeah, again, it always to come back to the practice. The other person does not know the practice. Is still even though the other person practices and try their best to practice, but maybe their suffering, the habit energy is still too strong. But the only way is to continue to practice, yeah, so that there's some freshness, there's some calm, some solidity inside us, at least to help us not to be swayed by the strong emotion, by our own negative thinking. So if we cultivate the flowerness, the peace, the solidity, the calm inside us. So when we sit with the other person for beginning a new practice, the other person may say harsh things, but thanks to the practice of coming back to be in touch with understanding, to embracing acceptance, then at least we can be the container to hold that person's suffering and habit. And so I'd like to sing to you another mantra in the song. It's about, offering our help. So it goes like this. I know you suffer, my dear, that's why I'm here for you. I know you suffer, my dear, that's why I'm here for you. I am here to help you hold this pain. I know you suffer, my dear, that's why I'm here for you. So the practice is to be kind, to be loving to ourselves, and also to continue to cultivate, to strengthen love, freshness, understanding, in order to be there to offer to the other person. If the person's words are still harsh and difficult, then we can be there, to listen. So practice using loving speech and deep listening. When there is space inside our heart, when our mind, is inclusive, when our heart is open, and we are solid in the practice, we can be there for that person to listen to their suffering. So if one of the two people are caught in their own perception, they have a very strong view about something, right? Like, then it's good that we bring to mind the practice of another mantra. Are you sure? Right? Check in. Sister Dee also mentioned in her Dhamma talk to check in, to check within ourselves. Is it true? Am I sure? And so it goes like this, the mantra. You're right in part. We think that we are right and the other person is wrong. You're right in part. In part, you are right. You're right in part. In part, you are right. Whether praise or blame, I know I'm just a stream. So sometimes you're more right, and sometimes a little less. Yeah, we practice this so that we can, we also practice, are you sure? Not to be too certain about the way we think and the way we think. So that we can release our strong view, our strong idea. And so that we can create some opening for communication. Yeah. And the attitude, yeah, the beginning a new practice cannot be successful sometimes because of the attitude. When the other person comes to us to suggest a session for beginning a new practice, and if we let's say we agree to come to the practice, but there's still some heaviness inside us. The resentment, the anger is still in our heart. So we bring in the atmosphere of heaviness, and that may damage the beginning a new practice. So you see here, Sister Tuyết Nghiem, she prepared a lot of flowers here. Yeah, because we need to create the environment, the atmosphere of the room, so that there's some lightness, there's some peace, some freshness, so that we can be in touch with such elements to help to create a good, peaceful environment for the practice. And the way the other person comes to suggest to do beginning new practice is not appropriate. Let's say, I'm angry at you. Yeah. And as a practitioner, as a monastic, I'm supposed to practice beginning anew. You know, in our monastic precept, there's a precept that says a bhikshuni should not hold on to her anger or her sulkiness for too long, longer than 7 days. Longer than 7 days without practice beginning anew. But in fact, not so many of us can do that. Sometimes we hold on to our hurt and our anger. So suppose that I'm angry at you, Sister Thuần Hạnh, and I have to practice because I'm the elder sister of so many younger sisters in the monastery. So I come to you and say, Sister Thuần Hạnh, I want to practice beginning with you. Tell me when you are available. That does not work. That does not work, the attitude. So we have to show our, our sincerity, and our energy should be calm, and we show our sincere effort to reconcile, to practice beginning anew with the sister, so that the other person can open their heart. Because like whatever energy we bring in, the other person may sense that and they can respond accordingly. Say that in the beginning new practice, the other person share about their hurt, like how they feel hurt because of our action, because of our words, and we defend ourselves. Yeah, we don't easily accept what the other person said. We defend ourselves. Oh, it's not correct. I'm not that way. And so it is the defensiveness in us that cause the other person to get even more irritated, more resentful. And so the practice of beginning new cannot be successful. Mhm. So, so we can come back to ourselves and reflect what makes communication difficult. What is it that beginning new practice cannot be successful? I have made a whole list here. Poor listening. I cannot listen deeply to the other person. I tend to argue. I tend to debate or defend myself. I tend to justify myself. Yeah. When anger, sulkiness, resentment is too much, like strong emotion, and if we don't take good care of our strong emotion so that we can arrive at a more calmer state, then the chances are that we let our strong emotion decide our um, affect our action, yeah? Or we have some blame. We blame the other person. We complain, right? We criticize. Mm. So, so please be aware of these uh, elements that do not support good communication. We find it not easy to forgive. Mm. So next, when we list what makes communication difficult, then we can make another list. What brings about good communication? What supports good communication? We know that good relationship begins with good communication. So again, we go back to the four right diligencies, and we also bring to mind um, the spirit of practicing the 5 mindfulness trainings. It always starts with aware of suffering caused by so and so. I am committed to cultivating. So when we reflect on the practice of beginning anew, we are aware of the suffering, the damage caused by the things that block communication, the things that cause the things that cause difficulties in our relationship, and we commit, yeah, we make a commitment to cultivating these good elements that support good communication. So, can anyone here share about your experience? According to you, what can bring about good communications? Openness. Openness. Sincerity. Yeah, thank you. Trust, right? Because, like, we don't trust the other person's willingness to begin anew. We get caught in our own perception. Why bother practicing? That person will not change because we don't trust. Yeah. What else, according to you? Acceptance. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So because you cherish the person, you cherish the relationship. So you practice to let go of your own view, your own ego, your own pride. Thầy said that in true love, there's no place for pride. Yeah? And think about how defensiveness blinds us and block communications, escalate tensions, conflict in relationship. We do the opposite way. We take responsibilities. We take responsibilities. We take in concerns, what the other person share, what support that the other person wants us to do to help them. And of course, using loving speech and deep listening help bring about good communication, right? So I'd like to also review again another important part of beginning new practice, sharing a difficulty in asking for support. It goes along with check-in. Check-in. So from time to time, of course, um, we may not be attentive enough to how the other person feels. Sometimes we don't intentionally hurt the other person, but that person still feels hurt. So it's good that we check in. Yeah. Like, say, in a meeting, and when we all are discussing about a topic, and one person tries to have eye contact with me, but I avoid looking at the other person. Mm-hmm. So that person may feel some, uh, uh, may feel sad. Mm-hmm. And after the meeting, the other person wants to know what happened, what is going on. So it's good that the other person comes to me and check in. I noticed that you didn't look at me at the meeting when we were discussing a topic. If possible, could you share with me what I have done that caused you uh, unhappy, something like that. Yeah, it's good that we practice check in ourselves, and also check in with the other person, so that we avoid the knots, the internal formation to tie too tightly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so when we practice begin anew, we practice within ourselves, we practice with the other person, and we also practice with a group. Here in the monastery, we also have like twice a month, we do beginning new practice with the community. And so the community also offer the chance for us to share about any difficulties we may have, and we ask for support. And beginning a new practice, we don't have to wait until there's a blockage, there's a tension in our relationship in order to practice it. It should be a daily practice. Yeah. And we don't have to beginning anew in order to refresh or to say sorry. Even if the relationship is going well, it's also important that we practice beginning anew, like especially to check in or to water the flowers in ourselves and in other people. For example, when we do sitting meditation, right, and suddenly we recognize that, oh, I have lost track of the awareness of my breathing. And we can begin anew. We can recognize that oh, I have just nodded off. I have lost track of my breathing. So we come back, we return to the breathing, and we start over again. So beginning anew is to refresh, to renew. Yeah. In our daily life, we can practice beginning anew as often as we can remember. Like when I say a bad seed, and if I am mindful enough, I recognize that, this is not a loving speech. So I can begin anew. I can shift it into using something more positive. So instead of saying a bad seed, we say an unskillful seed. So we train ourselves to practice using loving speech. Can we listen to one sound of the bell? Yeah. So the purpose of to practice beginning anew is to nurture love and understanding, to refresh, to reconcile, to reconnect, to heal, rather than to shut down, to break up, to end the relationship. It's a practice of coming back to ourselves, to look into our own actions of body, speech, and mind, so that we will not be negatively affected by our strong emotions. And the practice should be a daily practice. We don't wait until we have to practice intensively. Then when we come together, it could be difficult. Yeah. Because when we hold on too long, the anger, the irritation, and we practice intensively, it may not be successful. So one of us offer our love, our freshness, our solidity. We practice the mantra, I am here for you. I'm here for you. I am fresh, solid, calm, and free, offering the best of myself. I am here for you. I like to sing this mantra to you. So we come back to ourselves. We say, I'm here for ourselves, for our body, our mind. And we turn toward to the other person to practice, I'm here for you. I am 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 fresh, solid, calm, and free, offering the best of myself. I am here for you. Mm. Yeah, we are there, we are present for the other person to listen to their heart, to what is inside of them. Yeah. Maybe the other person suffers a lot. So we practice so that we can be a container, spacious, inclusive, to hold that person, to hold the pain. So we practice deep listening, compassionate listening. We refrain from criticizing or like justifying. And if we are the person who share about the hurts to the other person, then the practice that after we have done sharing our hurts, we can check in with the other person and also make another appointment to give a chance for the other person to share. So you see the significance of practicing to come back to oneself and beginning anew within oneself first. Yeah. We are provided the condition to share our hurts out, and the other person practice deep listening to embrace our hurt, our pain. So it is our turn to be kind to that person, to offer a chance for the other person to share out what is inside them. So if we can do this regularly, so please keep in mind this practice. Intensiveness versus regularity. Please do not wait until too long. It would be very difficult, but rather we practice regularly. Yeah. So maybe we save the remaining time, like 10 minutes or so, for our friends online. To if you are comfortable to share, I would like to invite you to raise your hand and share about your practice, the experience in beginning a new practice, especially beginning a new practice within yourself. Yeah, I saw one hand raising. Okay. Yes, please say your name. And the Sangha here will turn to the screen.
Ina,
Yes.
Diane.
Yes.
I think my struggle with the practice is being ready and vulnerable, especially it's sometimes I have fear to hear about how I may have hurt another person, especially if I've done it unconsciously. So I think that there's a piece of me that doesn't want to know if I've hurt somebody else, and I'm not sure how to react um, when I've done that. Uh, so hearing another person's regrets about the things that I've done is sometimes the most difficult part for me. Ina, Anga.
Hand raising.
Hi, Nate down there. I new to this practice. I learned about it over the summer at Park Village, but I found it immediately helpful in a particularly hard relationship that I've had during my doctoral studies. So with a
Thank you.
Bowing in, dear friends, dear Sangha, dear Thay. So I've been in the practice for quite a while, about 15 years, and I've gone through many different phases with beginning anew. Um, Sometimes very awkward and not successful because of my own fear and uh, unskilledness. Um, but recently, I've used this practice in kind of a modified way with a sister who suffers from addiction, and the addiction has landed her in jail. And this type of suffering that she has is very acute. And of course, if you're a person who's in jail, you may feel like nobody's listening to you. And so, one of the things that I have done in the past couple of months is to offer her my deep listening on the phone from when she's in the jail, and to just let her share her suffering with me. So it's not so much that we are beginning anew in between us, but that I am really here for her, and I am calm and solid and free, and I can offer her the best of myself. And what ends up happening is she ends up crying with relief because she feels that somebody is there for her. And it's really powerful. She's had, um, many years of suffering with addiction. And addicts tend to feel like they're throwaway people. So again, it's a modified. She's not a practitioner, so she's not beginning anew with me in the same way, but I'm offering it to her, um, and it's very powerful and it's very direct. And I can see the relief. Like she just does this whole kind of whole body sigh, and that gives me a lot of happiness because it feels like it's something I can really offer her when I can't actually offer her very much in other ways. Thank you.
Beautiful. The next question I would like to ask if our friends feel comfortable to share, like with in the presence of the sangha, and also with the support of the sangha. Mhm. You may like to begin anew with someone that you may not have a chance to do so. So uh, you can take refuge in the collective energy of Sangha to support you to uh, courageously, practice beginning anew with that person.
Michelle and bowing in. That's precisely what I've been able to do. Pardon me if I cry. I'm one who's suffered with addictions, and I have this August I'll have 12 years clean and sober. And
Can we have one sound of the bell so that we all can breathe together before the next sharing? Yes, we are here for you. To translate consecutively into English what you share, and would you please say it a little loudly, please? Yeah.
Do you hear me? Yeah, go ahead. Yes, we hear you. Thank you. I wanted to share with you my experience when I began this practice. It changed me quite profoundly because I imagined to be able to heal myself. There was someone that I hadn't seen after many years, and this practice has become quite reality in my life. My son has psychiatric problems. Sometimes he becomes violent, and I had to distance myself from him because of that. And since I couldn't do this practice in person, I began to imagine it. Here, here in Argentina, I had the chance to meet some monks, some monastics, doing a retreat. And even though I couldn't go to the retreat, I was able to speak with one of the brothers. And he gave me this advice to do this practice in the mind, to imagine this practice.
Al principio fue muy difícil y doloroso. Me costaba imaginar algunas respuestas de mi hijo y otras respuestas me daba cuenta que tenía que ver con ideas mías preformadas.
In the beginning, this practice was very hard as I began to imagine my son's responses, and this was very painful.
Pero con el tiempo me sentía cada vez más alegre, más feliz y hacerlo lo sentía más real.
But with time, I was able to begin to feel much more peace and happiness doing this practice.
Y unos meses después, gracias a esta práctica, pude volver a tener contacto con mi hijo muy de a poco, muy lentamente, pero con un corazón y una mente mucho más calma y sin tanto miedo.
After engaging with this practice, I was finally able to slowly but surely reconnect with my son with a heart that was filled with peace and love.
Y cada vez que siento que tenga que hacerla, aunque aún no podamos hacerlo presencialmente, me ayuda a sanar y sé que de alguna forma, y estoy segura de eso, a él le llega, porque yo siento que los dos nos sanamos haciendo esto, aunque sea imaginario.
So even though we cannot always do this together in person, I do feel that every time I engage with this practice, that I am connecting and able to heal together with him.
Así que estoy muy agradecida por esta práctica a nuestro hermoso y querido maestro Pai y a ustedes.
And I'm so grateful to have this practice and to have the teachings of our teacher Tai, and to all of you. Thank you.
So on the screen it shows there are how many? 4 or 3? 4. 4. Yeah.
Buenos días.
Good day.
La verdad me pidió la comunidad hispana.
Okay, no entendí. Perdón. La hermana, the sister asked us
La comunidad hispana.
with the community behind us to support us.
Lo siento. Gracias por traducir.
Okay.
Querida Sara, querido Tai, yo
Dear
quiero
Sangha, dear Tai,
que hace muchos años
since many years ago,
conocí esta práctica.
I knew this practice, or I came to this practice.
En la primera gira de monásticos a Latinoamérica,
During the first tour into Latin America, the monastic tour into Latin America,
hice un comensal de
I did a beginning anew
con mi hija
with my daughter
frente a 150 personas.
in front of 150 people.
Fue hermoso.
It was beautiful.
Todavía me quemó el corazón.
It still touches my heart.
Entonces,
And so
cuando alguien pregunta quién conoce la práctica, pues yo digo yo.
if someone asks who knows this practice or would like to know this practice, then I say me.
Pero es el ego, no es verdad.
But it's not quite true.
En febrero
This February,
tuvimos un retiro en México
we had a retreat in Mexico
que se llamó Empezar de Nuevo.
that was called Beginning Anew.
Entonces ahí descubrí o me invitaron
And there I discovered, or me invited
hacer la práctica conmigo mismo.
to do this practice with myself.
Y fue novedoso.
And it was something completely new to me.
Y hoy
And today,
dije, otra vez, hoy, qué bien, la práctica Empezar de Nuevo.
and again, I am reminded how amazing or how good this practice is.
Y hoy usted me ha dicho
Today, you've told me
que es para hacerla todos los días.
that it's to heal all relationships,
No para remediar conflicto,
otra vez?
no para componer algo descompuesto,
Not just to fix something that's broken, but it's something for
los días.
it's something for every day.
Yo le agradezco mucho esta nueva enseñanza
I appreciate very much this teaching,
y cuando vuelvan a preguntarme si conozco la práctica,
and if someone asks me again if I know this practice,
prometo decir no del todo.
I promise to say and respond, nah, not all of it.
Gracias por enseñarme siempre un poco más.
Thank you for giving me always something additional to consider. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for one last sharing, please.
The entire day Sana. Sorry, I feel a little bit nervous. I want to begin anew with your support with my body. I want to begin specifically with my eyes, and I will try to follow the steps. If I forget some steps, please support me. I want to say my dearest eyes, we steady the focus. You are here, and I'm very happy. And thank you for all the gifts you have given to me. Thank you for the meditation, walking meditation underneath. And I want, I, I am sorry for pushing you when you have felt some pain. I also have felt scared when the pain has arisen. I felt afraid. So I would like to, um, I would like us to go forward beautifully and speak the same language. Um, and I would like to ask for your forgiveness again for all the pain. What's the step again? Yes. I forgot the last step. Just want to give water to flowers. For my eyes, and to begin this healing journey with my own body. Because a lot of fear has arisen, I'm learning to try and listen more deeply to my body. So thank you for your support, and thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, dear friends, for your heartfelt sharing. So to conclude our beginning a new practice presentation today, I'd like to introduce to you this small book. It's small, but it is very helpful, and I believe it is also available in Vietnamese. So you find very helpful instructions. The title is Beginning Anew by Sister Chân Không, our eldest nun in the Plum Village Sangha. So you may like to get one copy so that you can continue to practice within yourself and practice with your loved ones or your colleagues and friends. So when we look at the 4 basic parts of the beginning new practice, we keep in mind that we don't necessarily go step by step. Yeah, that's why I don't put the numbers on the board. It depends on the situation, the circumstance that we decide. We can focus on which step, which part that we'd like to pay more attention to deepen the practice. Yeah? And yeah, very important that the practice starts with oneself first. And it should be a regular or daily practice, anytime. To begin anew, when the relationship is going well, we can also practice begin anew. Especially if we water the good seeds, water the flowers in each one of us. Is to help cultivate and develop the 4 right diligencies, water the beneficial mental formations. Yeah. So thank you so much for your listening and good continuation in your practice. Yeah. We will ask our tech team to send to you the text about the peace treaty. In the practice of beginning new, we also encourage to practice to sign the peace treaty. Both sides can practice this so that we help to resolve the conflict. And if you like the song, the 6 mantra song, we also ask our sisters and brothers to send to you the lyrics and the audio file of our Sister Jewel, who sang that song so beautifully, so that you can sing along at home. Yeah. Thank you so much. And let us listen to 3 sounds of the bell to end our session.
Dear Sangha, you may like to uncross your legs and give them some gentle massage. And upon hearing the next sound of the small bell, we will all stand up to bow to our sister true spirit. And then please sit down again for announcements. Thank you.